So Web Studio, we are going to talk about the website or the web pages, right? Now inside the Web Studio, we have application called Cloud Pages. So Cloud Pages, again, what we can understand from the name is that Cloud Pages means these are the pages which are hosted on the cloud, right, on the server, and we can access it from the with the help of a URL. So let's see how it works. So Cloud Pages is a marketing cloud application, and where do we use it? So we can create different kind of assets. So we have landing pages, we have mobile pages, so we have different assets that we can create in Cloud Pages. Now, whenever we want to design a web page, what are things that we require? I mean, there are two options again, similar to whenever we create an email message. So when we create an email message, we show the different type of email messages: text-based, HTML-based, template-based. So if it is a HTML-based, then we can write the HTML code from the scratch, and then we can design and develop the image. Now, same goes with the cloud pages. So if you want to design a cloud page or a web page, so what do we need to do? That we have to write the code. So either we have to write the HTML code and then we can design the HTML, design the entire HTML page, or what we can do, we can drag and drop the content blocks and then we can design the entire page back there. So Cloud Pages, gives us the flexibility or gives us this ability to design and develop the page with the help of the drag and drop interface. Okay. And it is a single application where we can host the content for multiple channels. Like we have this landing page, mobile push pages, and edge, and we can also write the HTML and develop the pages. Mainly, we are going to talk about the smart capture block or smart capture form over here, and we will see the entire functionality. So let's take a look. Okay. So whatever we want to create, first of all, we have to create the collection. So collection is nothing but your folder. So whenever, let's say, we are working on a project, right? So what do? We have, let's say, 100 of files. So we are not going to save all those files on our desktop icon, right? Because it will be a complete mess and we won't be able to relate, okay, what all things are related to this particular project. So what we will do always that we create a separate folder, and in that folder we put everything which is related to a particular thing, right? It could be a project or anything. Similarly, what we will do, we'll create a collection. So collection is nothing but your folder. So we'll give it a name. Let's say Amazon collection, and we will save this. So we have got this our collection, Amazon collection. This is just a folder, empty folder. When we click on this, we get the option here to add the content. So we have different types of content that we can add. So let's take a look at the landing page first. Now landing page is nothing but your web page. Once you create the web page, you get this publicly accessible URL that anybody can access, right? Now this landing page, we can either incorporate like email message or on our website. So we'll see the different examples. So let's give it a name. So Amazon sign up form. So whenever we create this landing page, we get this URL and it is a publicly accessible. So if we click this and if you open this URL, so anybody can access it. It is not just that it is not required that one should have access to Marketing Cloud account, then only they can access this URL. So anybody can access it. So what we can do, either we can design and develop. So now we are getting the same kind of interface that as we have seen in the email messages. So what we can do, either we can drag and drop all these content blocks and we can design the page. Or if you go to the code view, what we can do, we can see the code that is generated for this particular content block. So we can just delete it and we can write the HTML code as well if you want to write. Right, so we have two options. One is the content blocks and another one is the code. So all these content blocks we have already seen: button, code snippet, field from HTML, So these are the same content blocks. One content block that we did not cover at the time of discussing email messages content blocks. So we'll cover that one. So that is the smart capture. So now what is a smart capture? So as a name says, it is going to capture something, right? So what it is going to capture? Capture the information. But it is going to capture the information smartly. Now, how smartly it is going to capture the information? Because we don't need to create all these fields. So generally what happens, you must have seen a sign up form on many websites, right? Let's see, let's talk about the Amazon sign up form. So what they do whenever, go to the amazon.com and then they say that, okay, if you want to log in or sign up, and we click on the sign up button and we get this form. Now, for any form that we want to create, what do we need to do? We need to write some HTML where we have to create all these text boxes that, okay, where we are going to store them, first name, last name. So first of all, we have to design all the UI, all the front end part, that all these text boxes, and then the submit button. And whenever somebody will click on the submit button, then we also have to take care of the back end part. That is, data has to be stored somewhere in the database. So if we'll talk about the marketing cloud, and now if we do not have the smart capture form, and if you want to capture the information, first of all, we have to design the front end part, all these, text boxes and everything for to store the first name, last name, and then the submit button. And then whenever they click on the submit button, we have to store all this information in a data extension. So we have to take care of everything, front end plus back end. Now using the smart caption, it becomes very easy. We don't need to code anything. It is just a configuration and it makes the entire process very easy. How it makes it easy? So it says that, okay, you can choose any data extension where you want to store the data, and all these fields will be populated on the UI. So will data target will click on the data extension and will select the data extension from there. So I'm going to pick the same data extension as this one, 002. So this Amazon customers only, and then click on the select button. Okay. Now it says that you can just check this checkbox and the field will populate over here, and we can just fill in this information, click on submit, and the value that we are putting over here, it will be saved into a data extension, right? So let's say I want to have all these fields. Okay, let's. So we are not going to include the state, cities, and then the customer ID. So we have to at least keep all the fields which are mandatory. Otherwise, it will throw the error, right? If you are not saving, or if you are not giving any value to the mandatory. So we have to have that field. I mean, if you talk about the real form, the customer ID is not generally filled by the customer, right? But since it is a mandatory field, I have populated over here. But what we generally do is that we have this hidden attribute, right? And in the hidden attribute, we can have any attribute. Let's say the customer ID only. And whenever they click on submit button and whenever somebody signs up, then what happens is so we generate the customer ID automatically. Right. So for that we would need the AMP script. So right now I have not talked about the AMP script, so it will, it might complicate the process. So just to make it simple, what I'm doing right now is that I'm just using the customer ID over here. Delete this. Let me come over here. So all these fields will appear over here on the form, and the rest of the fields that we are not populating on the form, we can choose them as a hidden attribute, right? Now the hidden attribute could be used if you want to save this customer ID, or if you want to choose as a source. Let's say we are expecting this data in the data extension from multiple sources. We are manually importing, the data from the Facebook channel, and we are also getting some data from the sign up form, right? And how do we make sure, how do we identify that we should be able to identify that where this record came into this data extension. So what we can do, we can let's say have this field called a source, and here we can choose smart capture first. So that way we get to know that okay, this field or the data came from the smart capture form. So let's do that so that you guys understand the concept of hidden attributes. So let me create one more field in the data extension called source. And whenever somebody signs up using this landing page and we save this information in our data extension, then this record will contain a value as a smart capture form in the source field. So let's go to email studio and we are going to create the additional fields called source. So let's click on this Amazon customers and then we'll click on edit fields. Okay, it is actually part of so when it's a part of an attribute field, then we cannot make the changes from the email studio. We have to make the changes from the contact builder itself. So we'll go to contact builder and then we'll add one field by the name source. Okay, so let's go to this data extension and then we are going to add one more attribute. Let's say source. So it might take a while to show the field on the UI. So let's wait for a minute. See the field is available over here. Okay, so the field is created and now let's choose the data extension. Okay, so we should have this field. Okay, so it is not detecting. It is not detecting the changes that we have just made. So what I need to do is that um, okay, so let's refresh the entire page again, and then we might be able to see the changes. So now what we will do, we will use the source attribute as a hidden a source field as a hidden attribute, and we will save this value whenever somebody signs up using this landing page. So let's click on this collection. Let's click on this landing page. And then we'll drag and drop this smart capture block. and then here we will choose the. So we have something called Cloud Pages data extension. So this is the data extension that is already created by the system. Okay. So if you want to use this one, we can do that. Otherwise, we can choose any data extension as per our wish. So let's go to this thing and select this Amazon customers. Click on select. Now we should see. It is not taking the changes actually in the state extension. Okay, let's. Okay, let's take the state as a hidden attribute for now. Just for the sake of example. Later on, we will see that why it is not taking changes. Again, I'm taking this state as a, and here I'm just mentioning the smart capture file, okay, which means that the data is coming from the smart capture file. Okay. Now, whenever you design a form, it has three different parts. One is the basically two different part. One is the front end, another one is the back end, right? So in front end also we have two things. One is that the first inner page, the first a page where the user will see the different fields, and then the user will click on the submit button, and then the thank you page, right? So whenever they click on the submit button, we need to show the confirmation message that okay, we have got your details, or we have thank you for your submission, or something like that, so that they have the confirmation that the information is saved successfully. So how do we do that? So in content tab, what we are going to do, we are going to select the data extension, we are going to populate the fields in the UI, and then any hidden attributes, anything like that. This checkbox we will talk about in detail in journey builder. And let's give it a name as well. Let's say Amazon sign up form itself. Now we'll go to the submit options. In submit options, we need to show the confirmation message. So we have a couple of options over here. Either we can show the static message over here, whatever you want to write, we can do that. Otherwise, if you want the user to be redirected to any other URL, then we can do that as well. So if you will check this checkbox, and we have to provide the URL that whenever they click on the submit, maybe we want to redirect them to a new thank you page that we have designed. Okay, so that is something we can do. So for now, I'm going to show the static thank you message. And then we have this styling for the button, submit, what is the color of the button, submit button, and all these things. And then we have the form styling, like it will be applied on the entire form. So we can choose the background color, border, or the spacing margin. So all these, styling which applies to the entire block, that we have already seen how we can choose the border and background color and these things. And next is the HTML editor. So whatever the code or whatever we have written over here, it will generate the HTML corresponding HTML code, and it will populate over here. So let's click on done editing now. And what is going to happen is that we are going to publish the changes, because if you will not, so right now, if I'll copy this link and paste it over here, what will happen that it will say that I cannot find this URL, right? It will throw the 404 error because we have not published this URL. It is not live, right? And it is not accessible by, I mean, it is accessible, but it is not live, and the end user cannot see the changes that we have made over here. So what we need to do, we need to click on this publish button, and then we will publish all the changes immediately so that the content becomes live and the end user can access it. So we click on the publish button now, and now again we'll click on this URL. It might take some time to publish the changes, maybe a minute or two, and then we will be able to see the form on the page. Okay. Meanwhile, it takes, meanwhile, by the time it makes such a changes life, let's talk about something else and then again we'll come back to this one. Okay. So the one is the landing page, another one is the code resource. So what is code resource? Here we are going to write the code. So let's say we are designing this web page using the HTML code. And apart from the HTML code, we also need JavaScript. We also need CSS, right? If we want to make it fully functional. So if you want to design the HTML page, we want CSS. If you want to add some, even if you want to add some events or something like that, we need JavaScript. So instead of writing everything in a single page, what we can do, we can create different file, and in the different file, we can add the CSS and then the JavaScript code, and then we can reference this file from the landing page. So let's say if I want to create a style sheet, what I can do, I can click, like I can just give it a name and then I have to choose the layout. So if I'm creating a CSS file, I can choose this and I can click on the save button. And here I can write the CSS code. Now what will happen is that whatever the CSS code that I'm writing over here, I can reference this in the landing page, right? And then we can access this landing page, like this code resource in the landing page, and then we can basically have all the styling in the landing page. Now, what is the benefit? So let's say we are using the same styling in multiple landing pages, right? So we just have to write the code once over here, and then we can reference it in multiple landing pages. Otherwise, if we are not using the code resources and we are only utilizing the landing page, then we have to write the code like in each and every landing page wherever we want that particular styling. And also, if we want to make some changes in styling, we just have to make a change at a single place and it will be applied in all the landing pages. So from the maintenance perspective also becomes very easy that we are storing all the like code at a single place and then it can be referenced from a multiple landing pages. So similarly, we have JavaScript, CSS, whatever we want to create, we can do that. Next one we have is microsite. So microsite is your website, but is a small website, right? So whenever you go to any website, let's say w3schools.com or any other website, so website contains web pages, right? So website is nothing but a collection of web pages. So similarly, microsite is nothing but a collection of landing pages. So let's say I will click on Amazon website. I just have to give it a name and click on save button. And then we have this microsite over here. What we can do, we can, have multiple pages within this website. So I'll click on the add page and I can have this home page, right? And this page is nothing but a landing page. So we are, adding multiple landing pages here in the website in this microsite, and we can develop it, right? So when we click on this, it will basically open one of the landing page. And then what we can do, we can just design this page and it will show the changes over here. Let's say I want to add one more page, that is contact us page. Okay, so if we have a requirement where we just need to create one single page for the registration form or for the any event form, or let's say if you want to create a single page, because many times what happens that in our email communication, let's say we want to share some information which does not fit perfectly in the email message because the content is very lengthy. So what we want to do, that we want to take one landing page and we want to put all this information in a landing page, and then we will include that link of the landing page in the email message, so that we can say that if you want more information, click on this link, and whenever they click on this link, they will be redirected to a landing page, and then from there they can access all this information. So if you want to create a single page, then we will choose the landing page option, Otherwise, if you are creating a complete website which contains, home page, contact us, and different many pages, then we can also choose the microsite. But we generally don't recommend, designing and developing a complete website in Marketing Cloud account because it is not meant for that. I mean, technically it is possible, but I have never seen anybody or any client utilizing the microsites for their website development. Because what happens is that from a billing perspective, for each click or for each visit, whenever we visit this URL, right? So for each visit, Marketing Cloud charges us. So it is going to charge, few, whatever the pricing is. So it is going to charge us whenever somebody visits this URL. So like it will be very expensive in terms of the billing. Um, so we have other tools, for the website development and all. Okay, so now it is live. Let's see. So, so I'm going to, let's say, test 001. And then the phone number, let's say this one, customer ID. Okay, now I'm going to click on submit button. What will happen? It will show me the thank you message. And when I come to the data extension, I can refresh the data extension over here. Cancel this. Okay. Now what I can see, whatever the information that I have filled over there, I can see all this information here in the data extension. So I can see the first name, email address, phone number, and this is the hidden attribute. And we have not chosen these values. And then the customer ID and the sources. Right? So you can also go ahead and fill in the information, click on submit button, and you will also see the information is being captured here in the data extension. We have the mobile push pages. Okay, before that, let me show you something else. So when we go to the settings, so for each and every landing page, we can also see the activity that how many visitors that we have got on a particular date. So this is the page ID, okay, which is a unique identifier of each and every landing page. And here we can see the different mobile and desktop counts. And and here you can see the total and all. Okay, so we can see, I mean, it refreshes after every 24 hours. So, like after 24 hours, we'll be able to see. So, let me show you the one where we have got this statistics. So, here we can see different mobile and desktop counts. So, the blue ones are the desktop and the red ones are the mobile. So, this has got both the counts. So from mobile, we have not made any visit. All the visits that somebody has made is it is from the desktop only. So we can see on 24th. And in December 25th, we have this 4 counts, 4 visits, and on 7th also we have this 4 counts. So here we can see the activity, but we do not know that, okay, what was the subscriber, and because it can be opened by a non-subscriber user as well, right? So anybody who has access to this particular link, they can click on it. So it is not mandatory that the end user has to be a subscriber. Okay, when we go to the advanced settings, this is the page property that we can see name and description, and here we can see the SEO. So we can write the title, keyword, and description so that it is more optimized from the search engine perspective, so that it becomes like it appears, uh, on the pages on the Google Chrome or whatever the search engine is. So let's go to the collection that we have created. So in the mobile push page, I mean, this is for the push notifications. Um, so what I'm going to design, and then we have interactive email page. So interactive email page basically it is used to serve as a thank you page. So we have a form block called email form block in Email Studio in Content Builder basically. So what happens whenever we design that or whenever we configure that email form block and somebody submits the submit button, clicks on the submit button after filling the form, then we have to show a thank you page, right? So that thank you page we can design over in interactive email page. So we do not have that form block enabled in this particular account. So I won't be able to show you the complete functionality, but just remember that it serves as a thank you page for the email form block in the content. Mainly what we are going to use is a landing page only. So landing page, we can create it via HTML code or the smart capture form. Right, there's some more use cases of the smart capture. Like we can generate the lead from people who sign up to receive a newsletter. So we can have this page and we can associate this page over the website. So what will happen that whenever they click on this particular link, they will see this form and they can sign up for this. We will have this information stored in that extension, and then like we can contact them later, or we can send them the email communication or the SMS. So once we have the data, we can utilize it in any way we want. And we can also send the automated emails to people who complete the form. So this is something that we will see when we will come to the journey builder. Now we also looked at the microsite, so which is a collection of the landing pages, and it is helps us to maintain multiple pages which are related. So let's say if you are creating multiple landing pages, but if you want to relate it with each other, so we know okay, all these landing pages are related or are representing us single microsite, right, or single website. So for that, what we will do, we will create a microsite and we will put all the landing pages in that microsite only.